Hi. Well, today I'm going to do something a little different. Today, I am going to be closing out accounts. I am going to be closing out my own accounts on YouTube. I'm going to shut down my blog. And the only things I'm going to keep up and running will be, you know what? I'm going to keep everything running. It's just going to be different. I guess the accounts I'm really closing out today are going to be my past accounts. So everyone who thought that they had some sort of interest in me can go away. Okay? The only way to truly set myself free from all of this is to break it down to basic fact. Now, you can nitpick me on logistics and details all day long. Here are the facts that remain untouchable. Was I abused by the people who should have been taking care of me? Yes, in many different ways. Calling it anything less than that, that's just a blatant lie. Did that abuse inadvertently affect the way I raised my son and made me also an abuser? It did. My son didn't deserve half of the hands-on correction that he received. Now, is it a learned behavior? Yes. Was it my choice? On some level, yeah, it really was. And I'm damn ashamed of that. But I'm going to own it because that is where my freedom lies. Right there, owning my own mistakes. You might want to take notes. So when people who didn't suffer the abuse that I did want to sit in judgment of me, okay, I don't care. Like I said, the fact is I was abused. It did affect the way I treated my son. My daughter, I think she got one pat on the butt ever in her life, so I don't even want to hear that. Outside of that, yeah, that's pretty much all the effect you have on my life now. So, having said that, I'm not giving you any more attention at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my own experiences and I am going to use those experiences to make me a better person. You want to judge me for that? I invite you to. You want to sabotage me? I promise you, I will build up a community around me through these support groups for narcissism, for gaslighting, for all of the emotional abuses. And I promise you, there are more of us than there are of you. And I do believe that people like me, if we stand together, if we band together, if we support one another, we can become untouchable. I do believe that we can make global change. I do think that not being allowed to air dirty laundry is the mentality of people who have something to hide. Now, having said that, I really don't care what anybody thinks. I know what I think. I know what I feel. I know what I went through. And one of the most, I must be seriously demented because lately I have found myself spending time amusing myself, trying to picture what kind of conversation could possibly be happening if your abusers are all sitting around one table saying, well, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, when they all know damn well it did. So, yeah, I'm sorry, that just makes me get all kinds of stupid giggles. It does, because you know how ridiculous it is. Anyway, no, when I said that medications were coming from a hospital, I wasn't talking about, siblings or their offspring. And besides that, none of that even matters because you guys do not matter to me anymore. Not one of you ever stood by me when I needed you to. Not one. So I really went into this completely geared for writing every one of you off because every single person that I thought would walk away did. And if you think back, I have spent the majority of my life avoiding you to start with. So my life other than being 100% better, it really hasn't changed. It really hasn't. I mean, basically, let's see. I'm living my world. You guys aren't part of it. Yeah, it's a weekday. That's all. That's how much you've meant to me. That's how amazing of a family you have been. So, having said that, I don't have any ill will for you because I simply have nothing for you. Nothing. And this video is the last attention you're ever going to get. Now, having said that, if you decide to walk up on my kids, you might get in. But I will tell you a little something about my son, okay? He is, whether you like it or not, he is at least as strong-willed as I am, probably more so. And he is by far more intelligent than I am. His IQ will blow your mind. And if you think you're going to get one over on him, you might want to be aware that you will only have value as long as he can get something out of you, from you. Sound familiar? Thought it might. So if you want to tamper with my son, I hope that you pray to a God because you're going to need it, because my boy will chew you up and spit you out, and I know him that well. He is not stupid, and he sees through people just like I do. So good luck with that. My daughter, on the other hand, I have no idea. I can only hope that I instill some amount of self-worth into her, and that's all I can do. And I wish the best for her. So, having said that, you don't exist for me anymore. This is the last attention you're ever going to get. I am just done. Because this is the healthiest I can remember ever being. And you're never taking that from me. So you can nitpick me, you can stalk me, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can even sabotage your own mom by using her account to stalk me. And seriously, how non-thinking was that? There is a court order in place. That is a violation of a court order that was put in place by your parents. My God. Anyway, having said all of that, my son is the way he is, and that is my fault. Period. I did not have to follow your lead, and yet there I was doing that very stupid thing that I regret deeply, but I'm not going to let it rule the rest of my life. I was put in a position to have to leave my daughter behind simply because she stated she was not going with me. She was 14. You don't fight that in court. And not just that, but you know what? I raised my kids to think for their damn selves. And at the age of 14, she was more intelligent than any of you are at these ancient ages. So, am I respecting her decision? Yes, I believe I am. Yes, I am. Because you guys have already stated that, well, look at me. Apparently I'm crazy. Why would I take that into her world? To tell me there is something wrong with my mind because I cannot grieve the loss of my child in a way that suits your insanity? Yeah, I just can't even wrap my mind around that opinion. I cannot. I'm an adult. I own my problems. I own my dirt. You can slander me all you want. You can think of me whatever you want. But before you do, you might want to ask, where did Wendy sleep when Dad was at work? Just saying. Yeah, this isn't all in my head. And you can think that if you want, because I no longer care. But this video, all the other videos are going to be deleted. My blog's going to be deleted. I'm going to take down all my Facebook crap because that past doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Not a damn thing. You know what matters to me? Tomorrow, the day after, the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, the day after that. All of which you are never going to be part of again. Because every single time I let you guys in, you pulled this crap on me. So here are the things that are undeniable. Did my sister and I suffer abuse that the other two girls did not? Yes. Yes, we did. Did that directly affect the way we raised our own kids? I believe it did, yes. That doesn't excuse my behavior. I want to be super clear about that. I own my own behavior. It doesn't matter what you're taught. It doesn't matter how you're raised. The choices you make are your own. The choices I made, I own. Now, if you want to call that insane or childish, fine, well, have me locked up. I don't care. But here is what you're no longer going to get from me. The right to exist anywhere near me. You can watch from afar. You sabotage me, I promise you I won't be alone. And there are going to be people around me who have lived the kind of life, a lot of them much worse than me. And I'm hoping, I really do hope, that first of all, we can get rid of this notion of not airing dirty laundry. That keeps a person trapped in abuse. Because I don't know where the hell this mentality came from. You guys do realize that this is accredited to Napoleon, and it actually has to do with laundry. It has nothing to do with secrets. That's a modernized thing that was used to keep kids quiet. Now, this society has never been great with kids. I mean, they've been used as factory workers. They have been used as indentured servants. They have been used. I mean, and this just goes back, clear back to the dawn of time. But, I mean, we've passed a new millennium. Can we not evolve? Can we not do that? Is that not allowed? See, you guys were really, what I was handing you was an opportunity to create decent change. Because I am sitting in front of you and I am telling you, I didn't raise my son correctly. That my actions towards him, yes, if I were a stranger looking in, I would call myself an abuser. And I'm owning that right here, right now, because I can see the wrong in my actions. And because I love him enough that I owe him that apology. And I owe that apology to his own kids. Because the mistakes I made directly affect the way he's raising his own kids. And I respect that boy enough, that man enough, to own that. And I respect his decision to either love me, hate me, like me, don't like me, live with me, live without me. I respect his decisions because I raised him that way. Because that is what I wanted. So, do I have to wallow under this label I just put on myself? Yeah, I could marinate in it and I could end up tasting like abuse tomorrow, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these life experiences, whether you like it or not, and I am going to be contacting every philanthropist on this planet who has openly spoken about their own child abuse and who support people who advocate for children. Because you cannot change adults, obviously. I think I've made that point very clear. You cannot change adults. Adults must change themselves. If they cannot do that, then you have to empower the people who are most likely to be abused. And those are kids. Somebody said something really interesting to me yesterday, that in this country, just the idea that I'm even approaching or broaching this subject and I'm a nobody, that is unheard of here. Why? Why is that unheard of? Why do we not value our kids more than we do? Well, I will tell you this. I felt like nothing. I mean, nothing. I felt dead inside until I became a mother. And then I messed it up. Was that my intention going in? No. Were my acts malicious towards my kids? No. No, they weren't. It doesn't make them right, but it does make me see that I am not a malicious person. When you walk on me, when you bring when you put my kids' names in your mouth and you use that to taunt me, to bait me, and act like that's not what was happening, because that is exactly what was happening. That is also abuse, and I'm not standing for it. When I try to have a birthday party with siblings that God, I missed you guys. I don't even know why now, but I did. And you piss all over my garage like feral dogs. That is not respect. That is, I don't know what that's disgusting. And it's low. And then to stand back and judge me, let me tell you something. When you come in my home and when I go in your home and I piss all over your floor, yes, please do judge me, because that is bonkers. That is bonkers. That is feral. That is something you swat a dog with a newspaper for. My God. So yeah, go ahead and judge me. But taunting, baiting me, that's exactly what was happening. I have one sibling saying, "Oh no, she moved to London, England," and I was sitting right there when she said it. And then I got another saying, "Oh no, last I heard she lives in Chillicothe, Iowa." Tell me that's not baiting. Tell me that. You want to know what broke me? Ta-da! When you use my kids against me, you deserve whatever you get. I'm sorry, but you do. And now you get nothing. Nothing from me. As for where my abuses stemmed from, do I think that she was influenced? Yes, I do. Deeply. Deeply. And anybody who cannot see that for what it is, you're just blind, or you choose not to see it. And I don't really care anymore which one that is, because I don't need you to live. I don't need any of you to live. I don't need any of you to do good works and be happy. I do not need any of you I don't need your permission for me to uplift others. I don't see you guys doing anything to help anyone but yourselves. So, you want to judge me? Please do. And that's all I have to say to you, because I don't like you. You're not good people. The things that you do, that you cover up with saccharin, you're still doing them. They're just looking sweeter. The outcome is still shit. And that is fact. You can, like I said, you can nitpick me on logistics. You can nitpick me on timelines. You can nitpick me on details. Fact remains, there was a lumberjack sleeping in my dad's spot all week long throughout my pregnancy, my first pregnancy. Tell me I'm a liar. I dare you. Now, having said that, goodbye. That's it. For my kids, I am going to apologize to you for every wrong thing I've ever done. Over the years, upcoming, I may think of many things I've done wrong. And when that does occur to me, I will publicly apologize. Because this is what a responsible adult does. They recognize their own damage. They recognize if they use that damage on somebody else, and they have regret, and they apologize. That's what happens. That's what you're supposed to do. It's called morals. It's called integrity. It's called being upstanding. And I am trying my very best to do these things. The very fact that you can no longer trigger me tells me you will never, ever win. You're never going to beat me down. You are never going to be able to break me. And I do believe you've given it the old college try, and you have failed miserably. Everything I've predicted that you would do, you have done. Everything. So far. There's more coming, I'm sure. But if there is, you should know ahead of time. that the next legal action that is taken will be mine if you continue. That's not a threat. That is just fact. I have the right to defend myself. It's not a big deal. It's just my right as a human being. I know you think I don't have any, but it might surprise you to know that, oh, yes, I do. So, having said that, if you walked away from me and just kind of stood in the background and watched me bleed, I got no use for you. If not offering someone, hey, are you okay, is outside your comfort zone, I have no use for you. If you cannot have empathy, integrity, values, morals, honesty, I have no use for you. Those are the rules of my life from this day forward. Now, for my kids, I love you. I will always love you. I do not need to be inserted into your world to love you. You don't even have to accept my apology, because my apology, it comes from me, and I understand and I recognize that too often, I'm sorry, is said with zero meaning behind it. That is not the case here. This is me being a better parent than I had, and owning my abuses openly and publicly, because that is where the freedom lies, right there. Do you know why they can't get me? Do you know why they can't break me? You know why they can't find dirt on me? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I left. Not one time has anybody said, you did this horrible, horrible, horrible thing. Well, you know why? Because it's not my intention ever to just go around and randomly beat people down to make myself feel better about me. I'm not wired like that. So, no. I went out in the world entirely too early. I was not a drunkard. I was not a druggie. I was not a hooker. I just kept moving around and around and around, hunting all the time, hunting for Helen. So you can think of me whatever you want, because your opinion, it doesn't mean a damn thing to me. It just doesn't. You know, I'd love to hear your opinion of you, because I've been telling you my opinion of me, and I'm not very pleased with myself, but that's going to change. So if you want to open your mouth, how about you open your mouth in regards to how you feel about you? Because if you felt good about you, maybe you wouldn't have the issues you do. Just a thought. Whether or not you heal yourself now, I'd have to be dead to care less than I do. And that is a fact. So, love me, hate me, you'll never forget me. This is Shani. Watch for good works coming up in the narcissistic, gaslighting, scapegoat communities, because it is my intention to hunt down every single person who is ever made to feel like I have felt, and tell them it's not their fault. Now, you want to beat me up for that? You go right ahead. But I promise every narcissist on this damn planet, there are so many more of us than there are you. Shit's about to change. There's change in the air. If you can't feel it, I don't know, man. You might want to bunker up, because this is going to get real. There are millions of people exactly like me. My goal is to make sure there are not millions more. Now, you want to beat me down for that? You go right ahead. Why did I have to do this publicly? Because if I didn't, how could I help anyone else? You selfish people. If you would just take a breath. If you would just see the possibility of the good in this. But you never will. And now I don't care because I'm doing it anyway. Take it or leave it. Regardless, you don't own it. I do. I own my past. I own my present. And I will damn sure own my future. And there is nothing any of you can ever say or do that will ever affect me again. So, now what you got? Nothing. You have nothing. I don't even feel bad for you anymore. And that doesn't upset me, but it does make me sad. Not enough to ever let you back near me, ever. So this is how this is exactly what I want right here. Stop existing for me. I'll stop existing for you. You're going to hear my name because I'm going to be out there doing good things. You want to sit around, trash your life, you just want to continue wallowing in the swill that you live in, you go right ahead. I'd be damned if I'm going to be the one to judge you, but I'm not letting you drag anybody else down. And I'm not letting people like you drag people like me down anymore. This lack of common sense, I swear to God, it's become an epidemic in this country. But first, it was an epidemic right here in this family. If you can't see that, that is a you problem, not a me problem, because I see it very clearly. Now, having said that, this is me. My name is Shani. I stand. Am I a warrior? Damn straight. That's how I've survived. Intelligence, diligence, and resilience. I know how to adapt and improvise because that is how you survive. I'm not going to sit around wallowing my bullshit. I'm going to take it. I'm going to spin it into gold. And I'm going to use it to hopefully work towards positive global change. That is the only thing I want in this life. For the rest of my days, that is all I want. I want to make sure, as much as I'm able to, that children are more valued. Because two things that everyone needs to remember. A, kids do not forget anything. And unless you kill them when they're young, they're going to remember when they grow up. And there will be a reckoning. Everything you do comes with a price. And I learned that really early, didn't I? Every choice you make has a price. Every action you take has a price. That is just common sense. I mean, this isn't difficult. Usually. So, if you're going to raise kids, you might want to really think before you raise a hand to one of them. Because this is me telling you, I'm going to be out there making sure that publicly, if I can pull this off, all I want is, you can't, like I said, you can't change adults, but I would love to see like public postings, not just online, but posters in schools. I think that rather than teaching kids embellished history, teach them self-worth. Teach them to value themselves. Teach them the difference between loving your family and coveting their dirty secrets. Teach them that you can love them enough that you won't ask them to die dirty to keep you and your appearances pristine. That's what everybody walked away from. I mean, let's be clear. That's what everybody walked away from when I posted my truth publicly. And that's exactly what I expected to happen. I have been watching this happen to people all my life. Hell, a family member has been ostracized since the age of 13. But in order to do this, I had to cut off everybody. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you maintain any kind of contact with me, or I allow you to remain on my friends list, this is what happens. You will be targeted as well, or you will be used to stalk me. And it puts you in a really lousy position. I'm not prepared to do that. However, I feel very comfortable in assuming that I played such a small part in your lives, throughout our lives, on purpose, that I'm fairly confident that losing me as part of your life is not going to have a huge emotional impact on you, because you're still going to see me out and about doing, God help me, I hope, good things, making good changes. And I hope that you can also take on the mindset that I don't need you all up in my shit in order for me to understand that you love me. But what I have seen, I've gotten phone call, or I don't now, but I was getting phone calls from family members who would talk to me as if they supported me. And then they would post silly things. And that tells me that they're being targeted, and I didn't like that. So this is me looking out for you the best I can, because I can see why you had to do that, okay? And yeah, I've never been stupid. I think you know that. But I'm not going to make a target of you so that I can achieve my life goal. Does that make sense? Right? Because you know what happens if you don't let them use you. And I'm not going to do that to you. So, love me, hate me, again, you're never going to forget me, because I don't see anybody else in this world, not in any of these families. I just don't see any of them standing loudly, boldly, publicly. So go ahead and pass judgment on the one who does all the things you cannot. Do that. As for dirt, there is none. Good luck with that. I've been damn careful. All my days, I've been so careful. And that is not to say I haven't made mistakes, but nothing that even comes close to comparing to what I lived through. Now, you can minimize my abuse if you want. The fact remains I lived it. You didn't. Now, I can tell you that my sister and I, the things that we went through, do you really sit in front of her and act like it never happened? Because how insulting is that to her? I can be amused because I'm clear over here. I'm just saying, if you're going to let her in your world, goddamn it, at least respect her enough to apologize to her. Okay? Otherwise, damn, that's just sick. That is broken. That's some broken shit right there. So, no, I'm not here to entertain you anymore. The days of you using my world to entertain yourself, it's done. Now, that's about it. That's really all I have. So from today forward, just disappear. Please. If you can't, you're just going to continue being, I don't know, jealous, upset. You're going to continue being whatever the hell you are, because honestly, I don't understand any of it. I know right from wrong. How do you not? How do you not know right from wrong? How do you not know honesty from lies? I'm just done. Anyway, yeah, there's no fixing some people, and that's just the way it is. So, and I used to really think that when people said that a narcissist cannot change, they are completely unsavable. I used to think, no, there's no way, man. Everybody's savable, right? Man, now I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's possible. I mean, if they're going to be bad enough that they're even going to deny their own abuse happened just so that they can stay in the good, how broken is that? Yeah, no, 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 no. No. Just to remain involved with you would be like deciding to live in a toilet, a public toilet. No, 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 no. That's not for me. No, you cannot do decent marks from inside a toilet because it's just always covered in assholes, isn't it? So, no, no, no. Now, if you have suffered abuse from gaslighting, from narcissism, from scapegoatism, and yes, these are things I highly, highly recommend it. Can I just please recommend education? Please. As if that would ever work. Jesus. Anyhow, so now I'm just recognizing that this is never repairable. And the love that I invested was ill-placed, and it will never happen again because there is none there now. None. No love, no affection, no like, no nothing. I feel nothing. I don't even feel angst when I see your stupid posts. I do not feel angst when you are stalking me because you keep proving my point. Every time. You nitpick me, please do. Meanwhile, while you're nitpicking me, you're proving my point. So, whatever. No, I don't think I'm better than you. I know I am. And if you want to call that narcissism, you knock yourself right out. But I'm going to take my narcissism and I'm going to go help other people, which is something narcissists do not do. And I'm going to do it silently from the background because narcissists don't do that either. They relish that spotlight. Me, no, this is very uncomfortable for me in case you haven't noticed. I am not a spotlight person. Unless it's, on a dance floor or whatnot, because I do love a good dance. But otherwise, no, not so much. I would much rather blend in with the wallpaper and be left the hell alone. And if you look back over my world, yeah, that's been pretty much it. The only time you ever really heard anything loud out of me is when I was in defense of myself. And don't you just love when they say, well, she's just so defensive. Well, I wonder why. Whatever. People, no. If you suffer from any of these things, please, 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 please hear me when I tell you these things. A, it is not your fault. It is not. B, if you've done bad things, if the intention was malice, if the intention was something dark inside you, then yeah, you better own that. Okay? But if it wasn't, own it, let it go. Okay? Because if you don't, they're going to hang it over your head for the rest of your days. And if you stick around long enough and you allow them to, it will cost you everything. So, having said that, do get into support groups. Facebook, I can guarantee you, I bet I've joined 50 in the past 2 days. And I am full on blown the hell away. How many people are suffering just like I did? Because I have such horrible trust issues that I do not have friends, real life friends, because I can't. But I'm going to change that because I see it now. No, I'm going to get involved with people who do things that matter, that can affect long-term change. That is all I want for the rest of my life. I just want to help others find their way through to the other side. And I have decided the Shani method is croaking today. Just gone. Because A, it's not new. But see, that's how isolated I am. I had no idea that other people just straight up blow their shit right out on social media. Hey, kudos to you guys, because that will separate the wheat from the chaff, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So, all of that said, I am only going to be hanging out in this state for another 2.5 years tops. If you can manage to leave me the hell alone for that long, it'd be ever so appreciated. If you cannot, just buckle up, because you know I don't back down. I don't even know why you're trying. And I think I've proven that you can't get anything on me. You cannot. You cannot. The only thing that I can say is I flipped a tit online when I had to relocate with my son, because let's face it, $300, because I gave $2 back to him to put food in the house for my daughter. So my son and I starting over with $300. Yeah, I was going to need some help. And if you have to flip a tit to house your kid, you best do it. Because, I mean, let's face it, they're boobs. I mean, what are they doing? They're things that hang on the front of you. They don't really serve any purpose but getting in the way and reeking up sweat. So, yes, I did. I flipped a tit. That is the worst thing you're ever going to find on me. So, yay me. Yeah. It's frustrating when you're trying to take down a decent person, huh? I don't have to be great. I just have to be decent. You know, oddly enough, that's all you ever had to be too. But you couldn't. You can soak your dirt in saccharin all day long. You put it in a teacup, pour water in it, it's mud. It's just dirt. It's still dirt. Until you own it, it's just dirt. So the more things that come at me, the more things I will divulge. So you might really want to think, how much does she remember? And keep messing with me. You go right ahead. Because you don't scare me. I have been faced with pretty much everything. And here I am trying to do good stuff. So this is the last video. It will stay up, hopefully till I'm dead, and hopefully beyond. And that's really all I have to say to any of you. So if my kids never come back, if they never come back and see me again, it doesn't matter. I'm going to love you anyway. And that's fact. Yeah, I don't expect an apology because you don't owe me one. You're my children. And whoever you are today, I take responsibility for. So no, neither one of you owe me an apology. You never have. Neither one of you owe it to me to be in my life. Neither one of you owe me anything except to be happy, healthy, safe. And please raise your kids better than you were raised. Any parent that does not wish that for their own kids and their own grandchildren should never have been breeding to start with. All right? So no, you don't owe me anything. You owe things to yourself. You owe things to your own children. Outside of that, you owe me nothing. Okay? And you don't ever have to see me again. You don't have to hear me. You don't have to look at me. You don't have to do anything because you do not have to pay for my love. You just don't. That goes for my kids, my stepkids, my foster kids. You don't owe me anything. Do you hear me? I'm going to love you anyway. That is how I'm wired. That is what I am made of. And that is what keeps me going. And I hope I was able to give that to some of you. I really do. Because I wasn't the best foster parent. I wasn't the best parent. I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best sister. I wasn't the best wife. I wasn't the best anything. I was simply a human trying to survive in a cesspool of bullshit and head games and emotional bullshit, physical bullshit. And look at me stand. And what are you doing? Are you standing? I bet my kids are. Didn't get that from you. No, they did not. They got nothing from you. Thank God. Seriously, thank God. That's the only thankful thing I am good for, is that in disowning me all my life, you disowned them and you probably saved them. Yes, that's the only good thing I'm going to credit you with. By turning your back on me, you probably saved my kids. Thanks for that. Because I know my kids are brilliant. I mean, they really are smart. I'm not even joking. My kids are damn smart. My daughter, she has been a reader since the very second she could learn how to read. That was always her favorite thing. I mean, information sponges, my kids. And there is a million and one things I will always be proud of them for. I don't need your okay for that. No, I don't. So, this is me. My name is Shani. And this is how you stand like a decent human. Having said that, live strong, my friends, simply because they don't want you to. All right? All right, have a good day. Watch for good works coming up.